Evening, guys. Evening. We have a little bit of risk off going into the start of the European session. There's definitely some risk off last night in the US session, and it's rolled over again in Asia. Seen some pretty steady selling in the dollar yen, no bounce, which is very bearish. In fact, for an Asian session with the dollar yen not to bounce after some selling in the US session. Now, 110 is really big in the market. And if it breaks, the downside is substantial. And if you're looking at, why could it break, what's the main reason? Look, the market's skittish on the US dollar post-Fed and dovish Fed. And with Trump's sort of failure to inspire confidence, and then there's a little bit of unease about these Trump-China talks coming up as well. And the US yields, combined with what's going on at the moment, US 10-year yields anyway, are right at this key level. So if US 10-year, it doesn't have to move the whole US dollar, but it definitely affects dollar yen. Dollar yen's very sensitive to yields, especially the longer term ones. See, this level's held, this 2.3 level, for weeks, and if it breaks to the downside, which is looking pretty a definite chance, right? Then we've got a significant open to get down to 2, even below that. And then if stock markets fall with that, then it becomes harder and harder for the Fed to be ultra hawkish as uncertainty starts to creep into the market. Now, in that environment, we do have the euro weaker, stabilizing a little bit. Dollar yen going below 110 is probably going to be enough of a catalyst to help the euro stop its downside, right? So I understand it looks weak on the charts, but if you take into account what's going on elsewhere, it's actually underperforming in a very strange way, the euro. And to me, it's it just can't continue, right? To me, you can have euro yen selling, which you do have a lot of, and you have dollar yen selling, which you do have a lot of. Yet generally you get some US dollar selling against the euro as well. And with it being a Trump-based sort of negativity in the market and Fed-based negativity for the US dollar, I don't think that the ECB walking back its sort of comments from the last meeting is going to be enough to sort of stop the euro rallying in that environment. Now, I've been proved wrong on this so far. Like, I'm surprised the market isn't above 107 today with the dollar yen selling last night. And if you're looking at what's being punished, it's the euro yen, right? The euro yen is just continuing to go lower, and it's technically really broken. All right, but with gold rallying, nearly breaking those levels that are important for it, let's have a look at the euro yen just quickly. I suspect that we're at a point here soon where the euro is going to find support. Alright, now I could be wrong on that. It's my warning to you about selling the euro. I actually like buying the euro against certain pairs. Not so much against the pound, because the pound's its own little beast at the moment, but definitely against the Aussie. Now, we did that trade yesterday, Euro Aussie. It wasn't really on the back of the RBA. RBA didn't do much to help the Aussie, but it didn't really have anything in there meaty to get the Aussie selling. Aussie was on its way down before the RBA meeting, and basically RBA gave it no reason to stop. And so we just seen that clean break of 75.80 and 75.60 support, and now we're looking towards the 75 level, which is a big level in the Aussie. The Aussie this year and last year found 75 a pretty key sort of level to bounce off multiple times. And so a break below that opens up the big sell-off that we got down to in December with the whole Trump US dollar phenomena, which is 71.70, 71.50. And so this target will come into view if we break 75. And if there is a hint of trade war with China, between the US and China, Aussie is the proxy for China in the market. There isn't another currency that you go to. You sell Aussie, ask questions later. right? So it's got that other side of downside as well. A very brave man buying Aussie on this dip. It's, you know, with so much unease and uncertainty and just price action that's bearish, it to me looks very doubtful that it can come back up for air very easily at all. And you know, stocks would have to rally, have to be a good meeting with Trump, and it have to be a weak NFP, yeah, and then we rally. But apart from that, I can't see a very easy scenario for the Aussie to get back, you know, to the middle 76 levels. Now, let's see how it plays out, you know, in the coming days. I think that 110 is going to be tested before the meeting between China and the US, and if it holds, then that's great. Yeah, I mean, things can settle down a little bit. If it breaks, then we get the fireworks, right? And we have to be able to react to that. Stops will be pretty heavy underneath it, and there isn't much support below 110, all the way down, you know, easily to 18, and potentially even all the way back to that 105 level, which was a key level back in the day. So, yeah, I mean, it would probably require a bit more selling, and it, you know, probably require, for us to remain underneath, it probably require weak NFP as well. But yeah, right now we are searching for support. So in regards to the pound, pretty heavy sell-off at the start of the European session. Pretty dangerous sell-off too. I mean, this is second day of selling from Friday, Monday selling, and then selling again this afternoon. Bit of key support here, 123.80. If it breaks, opens up the door for lower. I'm not really keen on this trade. I think we're going to have volatility and range trading with upside potential rather than focusing on the downside just yet. There's no headline for this. This is just straight up, you know, a little bit of pound yen sell off and just cleaning out those weak longs from last week. But yeah, by no means I do have to have a sense of where this pound is going here, and you know, you'd be selling pretty low if you start chasing here. It looks bad on the chart. Yeah, it looks like it's going low, but it's like the euro, right? It's like, well, is the US dollar weak or strong right now? Gold says it's weak. Dollar yen says it's weak. And the pound and the euro are usually brothers in ganging up on the US dollar. And if that comes back into effect, then you might see the bit more of a fight put up by these two pairs. It's surprisingly weak. Now the Aussie dollar doesn't do well. Kiwi dollar doesn't do well when stocks are weak and risk is off. And you can sell if risk is off, if the euro Aussie is rallying, which it is, or if the Aussie yen is getting sold off, which it is, and if Aussie Kiwi is getting sold, which it is. Now, you can tell that it is a lot of risk off going on in the market. Canadian dollar, Aussie dollar, and New Zealand dollar probably going to get sold in this environment too. But it does open the door for some interesting cross plays. So Euro CAD, Euro Kiwi, Euro Aussie longs make a lot of sense here to me, even though Euro US dollar is not performing as I'd like. And if we do get the euro rallying, it's just an extra leg higher in these crosses, right? And that's really why I like certain trades like that, the little kicker trades where status quo is, you know, nothing has to change and the euro Aussie goes higher, or the euro rallies and the euro Aussie goes screaming higher. And you know, in terms of if there is a trade war with China, or talk about trade war, and then all over the weekend it's all China talk, come Monday morning you're looking at just getting wrecked in the Aussie dollar. So having some short exposure to the Aussie dollar makes risk reward sense here. You're risking 100 to make 400. That's the way I like it. When I'm looking at trades, limited downside, you'll be able to tell if something changes pretty quickly. If it's straight up euro weakness, Aussie rallies, euro rallies, so you don't get too much euro Aussie sell off, and you know, you have that sort of the trend on your side as well. Now, RBA came out today, didn't say much. Let's have a little look at the RBA. Statement broadly unchanged. There was a little bit of a mention about what's going on here with our housing in Australia. We saw the some changes come in regarding home loans. And so you saw that bit of, well, I found that very interesting that they did put that in. A whole paragraph is devoted to the mortgage market. Basically, they're going to be banning, well, not banning, but limiting interest-only loans in Australia. So we've got a bit of a housing bubble here. We're not selling Aussie on the back of that housing, but it doesn't help, right? People read that and have flashbacks of 2008 and the US. In terms of my other trade, the Euro-Pound short, I did take some profit yesterday on one of the other trades I had, the Euro-Pound. I had 2 Euro-Pound shorts. That was a bit of fortuitous decision, as there has been a bounce here higher in the Euro-Pound. I don't know if it's getting anywhere quickly here. I mean, it does result, it relies on the pound or the euro to start rallying, and the pound being left behind. But yeah, I'm not a seller of the pound, so I'm just going to hold it and just see how it develops. I still think there can be sellers on rallies on the Euro-Pound. If I get stopped out, I'm wrong, right? But we've still got a fair bit of room here for the market to stall. The 86 level can easily stall, and that's there to get in the way of any sort of extra rally that we get in the next little while. But yeah, Euro Aussie is developing very nicely. I think there'll be a lot of buyers on the dip. Caught a little bit of Andrew's stream. He's happy to be buying on this dip. 140.80, 140.50. Yeah, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. And if this trade doesn't work out, it would be good to analyze why. Okay, where did we get it wrong? How did the Aussie rally, or how did the Euro sell off? What was the missing element? And I suspect if we do get this trade wrong, it's going to be on the Aussie dollar side, which would be the biggest surprise to me, that this Aussie is somehow going to rally. But any sort of trade like this, it's I find it very interesting when trades start to develop and then they fail. So there's a bit of improvement if it doesn't work, right? We can find out why. Got a couple of nice reports here to go through with you. What about gold? What about gold, man? Yeah, gold's looking very strong. So all the uncertainties just helping gold rally. In terms of the top side here, you do have resistance forming previously. 1264, 1261. Above that, you've got an open door towards 1300. Alright, which is the Trump spike. 1300 should be a little bit harder to get past, right? But yeah, it looks pretty solid here for the continuation of the rally. Only way that gets unwound is if NFP is strong and Trump has a good meeting with China. And Trump's, I think, itching for a fight here. Nothing like diverting the public away from his own issues. But he probably doesn't want to upset the stock market either. So, I mean, he's no complete dummy. He's just a little bit living in his own world. Yeah, so this hawkish shift in ECB rate expectations seem premature, so they've been wound back. The euro's come under pressure because of that. It's not a source of constant selling of the euro. It's just it stopped the rally. All right, now the euro being vulnerable to political uncertainty is true, but euro being able to rally on any more certainty. So if polls continue to show Le Pen having no chance, I think that the market might start to discount it, and if there is any political risk in the price of the euro at the moment, which broadly speaking the euro is quite low against the US dollar, then we could see it start to rally. And post-French elections in early May, you've got a Fed which may be delaying until the third quarter, and you've got a Trump who might start to unravel. The euro is going to be the go-to sort of trade, I believe. So probably a little bit early in getting too excited about it. The price action definitely says that, but I still see the way forward as higher over time. It's just not yet. We're definitely, you have your view and then you have price action, right? Price action got me all excited about the euro a couple of weeks ago. And if you've been watching this every day, this stream, you would know how excited I was when we're so strong. But since then, and then the ECB coming out here, really breaking it back of the buy and the dip, I've mellowed down a little bit. Okay, but if we start to see price action, we're back above 108. I'll start to get more. I'll get more aggressive. No reason to buy too early though. Alright, and HSBC saying pound to weaken, a fresh political reality of Brexit, structural weakness and doubts over cyclical hawkishness. Now the cyclical hawkishness is the how close is the Bank of England to raising rates? How concerned are they to raising rates on the inflation, right? Well, that's what we have the debates here going on about what sort of inflation they've got in the UK, whether it's inflation from prices or costs, right? So the costs going through is not the right sort of inflation. You want wage inflation, and so just the cost of things getting more expensive because of the pound crashing isn't the sort of inflation that the central bank should be responding to. Now the lady who voted for the rate hike last meeting, she's actually finishing up in a couple of months, so she might have one meeting left where she can be a hawk again. But yeah, so the main reason I'm bullish on the pound is I think that Brexit talks are going to go a bit smoother than the market's anticipating, and the positioning of the market is why I feel there's going to be a short squeeze sooner rather than later. So looking for a US dollar rally this year. We're looking for down. We're looking for down in the pound. And we're looking for some selling in the Kiwi. And yeah, so the Bank of Canada is actually helping the Canadian dollar be weak. We haven't looked at the Canadian dollar for a while. Canadian dollar's coming up against some key levels soon. So another 100 pips away, we've got some key levels. You can think of these like the 75 in the Aussie dollar. A break above opens up 140. So let's see if that gets hitching up. Aussie dollar's under a lot of pressure. Should we be a little bit sneaky and buy some more Euro Aussie? let's not be too sneaky. Let's not go asking for troubles. Don't think these guys know. Those not engaged in the pound may be tempted to wait for better levels to sell somewhere in the 127, 128.50 region. Yeah, I mean, look, you know, that's all I'm looking for, really. Maybe 130. I'm not ultra bullish on the pound straight away right now. I'm just looking for that short squeeze. So by December 18, there's been some tightening priced in. That could be taken out. Okay. Carney came out. He wasn't really in any rush, was he? He was saying, you know, one data point doesn't make it ultra high inflation. Alright, so Japan is likely to consolidate rather than extend its rally is their default case here. And Bank of Japan, you know, limiting the 10-year yield in Japan means that, you know, the dollar yen just reacts completely to the US yields. Dollar yen has been highly correlated to the change in differential. The 1 month is 0.81, 3 month 0.75, 10 years, you know, related to. I mean, stocks haven't started to sell yet, guys, right? And it hasn't been a major disappointment with Trump, just a minor disappointment. A major disappointment or impeachment talk or something like that, that's a huge downside here in stocks. The Trump rallies has to be worth at least 2,000 points in the Dow. Yeah, so they're pretty much playing up the dovish case. Let's have a read of our friend there over at Deutsche Bank, early morning read. We're getting these reports from FXWW, CK Moid. You can get access to them for about $50 a month yourself. Just quickly reading this one. A little bit wordy. We'll get through to Citibank. Last week's performance in the market, Euro was the weakest. This whole selling the euro in the French presidential election, I think that's premature. I mean, look, just any sort of risk is a risk. So Le Pen having any bounce in the polls will definitely hurt the euro, but I'm not too worried about it. They're very neutral on a lot of these pairs. Now this was written on the weekend. It looks like. First support 74.90. Well, they're not being ambitious there, are they? $75 is a big level. Yeah, they're not making any strong views here. Alright, they've got a very sort of subdued forecast for the NFP. We'll do NFP live this week, guys. We'll be trading it live. We've done well in the last couple of months trading it live, mainly via the dollar yen. Just straight up buying dips in dollar yen. It's going to be a bit more dangerous to the dollar yen depending on where it is. If it's below 110, we're still going to be playing dollar yen probably, but it's going to have to give it a good old think over how we're going to play it. Given the positioning of being so short, I mean, a strong number is definitely going to allow it to rally. It's just, you know, what sort of number are we going to need to react, and are we going to chase? Hugely ambitious levels for the dollar index they're looking for here, and the dollar yen. Yeah, I mean, US dollar index to 150. Fed minutes tomorrow, and the Bank of Canada on next week. Perhaps we should be cycling into some Canadian dollar. We looking to sell the Canadian dollar as well. Let's have a look at the Euro CAD. So yesterday we bought some Euro Aussie. Today we're going to be looking at some Euro CAD. Now, when you're looking at Euro CAD, you've got to be looking at quickly anyway, you've got to be looking at the oil. Now, oil shouldn't do too well in an environment of uncertainty about global growth and global trade wars. It has bounced in the last couple of days back above 50. It would help selling CAD calls if we get back below 50. But I think it's still relatively good risk reward here on the dollar CAD, Euro CAD. We're going to be looking to buy about 30 points lower. And we're going to modify this. Only going to put a 50-point stop in on this one. We got to check what's going on if it gets a bit lower than that. And we'll leave, be a bit ambitious here, 144.80. Alright. So this is very easy to do, guys. If you want to add your own trade idea, you save as, you go to the MQL5, you get yourself your image link, you save that in your direct link here, you select your trade that you're looking to do. This one's Euro CAD. We're buying 142.80. Going to be putting a stop at 142.30, and we're going to take profit 144.80. Main reason is that we're looking for more risk off and getting some exposure to the Canadian dollar before next week's BSC. Keeping on an oil at the P50. Also, Euro USD beginning to rally. An important part of this trade. So extended what begging. Important part of this, you know, you don't just need risk off. Euro trying to rally as well would help. But you know, we could also get it from some of that Euro weakness. That's a new broker, Nick. Haven't seen that one before, mate. Let's have a little sneaky look at Nick's account here. What's going on? He's got some trades open. I mean, the main reason Nick's got to get in. Oh, this is Mount Cook. Like a holding company called Atlantic Pearl, it looks like. I mean, honestly, Nick, you need to start hedging Aussie dollar just for business and for your accounts, depending on your position sizes. And if you've got US dollar somewhere, then you've got to start hedging that, because it's a significant downside risk here, and you don't want to be losing too much money. But you seem like you're doing well, so well done, well done. Alright guys, look, yeah, so tomorrow we're going to do another update, see how the market's developing, see whether 110 is broken. Then we're going to take Thursday off, and we're going to be doing the NFP live, which is 10 o'clock Sydney time. Check your local time for yourself in updates there. and we will be doing also, you know, sort of covering what's been happening between China and Trump during their meetings as well. If you do want me to look at a particular pair, once again, if you're watching this outside of YouTube, on YouTube, come across to Forex Signals and send me a little PM, and I will try to focus on a pair for you. The main trades that we're looking at is Euro Aussie long, hoping to get into some Euro CAD on a pullback, and we've still got some Euro pound short from pre-Article 50. Alright guys, good luck with your trades. I'll be back tomorrow at 9 GMT.